Hello, friends. Today we'll be talking about the Hungarian elections and some hidden effects and the consequences of this election for Europe and the world. Of course, it's a total victory of opposition forces. Tisza on these elections showed very clear that the demand of renewing, refresh of Hungarian policy after 16 years of Orban's rule in this system. But at the same time, look on the screen. There is the latest official results from the election commission, and you can see that Tisza and Fidesz on the party list gathered almost very close result. Tisza gathered 52.5% of voters, and Fidesz took 38% of voters. And in seats in parliament, it means that Tisza reached 45, Fidesz 42. So both labels, Tisza and Fidesz, are very popular in Hungarian society, and third party, Mihozank, took only 6 places by the list. But Hungarian election system is mixed system, which consists of a party list and single majority constituencies. And if we are talking about the single majority constituencies, then there is a significant victory of Tisza, which reached 92 seats in these single majority districts, and Fidesz only 13. So because the victory of the Tisza is mostly a result of this victory in single majority constituencies, but not the party list. So both labels, Fidesz and Tisza, are very popular in society, but Fidesz policy and Fidesz candidacy to the single majority districts was much poor and was fully defeated by the Tisza. But in the end, we see the system, and the Tisza reached a total victory with even constitutional majority, because Hungarian parliament consists from 199 members, and the constitutional majority needs only 133. So it lets Tisza to make any changes on the laws, on the policy, on the governance in the Hungarian political system. But I think it will not be very easy for this party, because it's a non-ideology party with very weak structuring, with absence of a real long-term ideology and structure. And this party will be very fragile, and it is already divided in a few main groups of liberals, center, conservatives, and also few groups in terms of business interests in Europe and the United States and China. So the ability of this new constitutional majority of the Tisza party in Hungary to manage the course will be very limited, because of this internal fragility and a lot of influence on Hungarian political system from United States, Europe, and Russia, which are still exist very hard. Moreover, I think that predictions of a significant change in Hungarian course political could be also defeated, because Peter Magyar, the new leader of Hungarian political majority, in his political views, he is very close to the previous prime minister of Hungary, Viktor Orbán. But Peter Magyar is younger, is more progressive, and Peter Magyar will try to restore, rebuild, renew the relations between Europe and Hungary. It is also a very necessity for Hungary, because Europe frozen more than 20 billion of euros of different funds which could be sent to Hungary to restore Hungarian infrastructure and different types of projects. And Peter Magyar will is to release these funds and to use this money for restoration of Hungary. This money which Viktor Orbán was without. But talking about the geopolitical risk, I also want to underline that situation that when we are talking about Hungarian elections, it was also a geopolitical election because this election was lost not only by the Viktor Orbán, but also by Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. And it looks like that Trump is extremely pissed off of this losing of this election in face of Brussels bureaucracy. So it could lead the situation to the new wave of political and economical and even military escalation from Trump's side to the European bureaucracy, to the Brussels. Moreover, the situation is worsening by the European position towards the Middle East war. Europe is not helping Trump in this war, and Trump is endangering Europe to withdraw the American troops and American support, American security guarantees from Europe. And also because of this Greenland issue, and also because even of trade issue, the trade agreement which was made between European Union and the United States last year still is not signed, is not established by European Parliament. So this very painful loss in Hungary may provoke Trump to the further escalation towards Europe and to increase in the pressure on the Europe and to danger the Europe of a new risk and new doings. Also, Viktor Orbán was a tool for the Putin's administration, for the Russian Federation, belonging on this tool. Russian administration also had some illusion to change something inside of European Union, inside of NATO. And now this illusion also is broken, and Putin doesn't have anymore such a strong partner and negotiator inside of European Union and inside of NATO. So because of the breaking of this illusion, Putin also may belong only on the force, on the escalation. And maybe we came closer for one step to a bigger European-Russian war because of losing this illusion, Russian illusion of possible changes and destruction of European Union and NATO. Of course, the changing of the prime minister and the governing party of Hungary, it's a good chance for Ukraine to restore the relations with the Hungary, but also it's a good chance to see more united Europe in the face of Russian aggression and in the face of necessity to find additional tools for supplying Ukraine. So the consequences of these elections in this very small country, less than 10 million people, inhabitants, could be very geopolitical, because many years Hungary was a very important place when the European, Chinese, and Russian interests were crossed, and all the sides were invested to Hungary a lot, and all the sides has some or had some hopes to use the Hungarian government, their own interest and their own lobby for communication. Now everything is lost, and the new government, in any case, will not be so strict against Brussels, and they will not be so strict and so able to keep the previous level of relations with Russia and with Trump, both sides. China is under question. We still don't know. I think China will be waiting for a better moment. They will not be hurry to change their attitude to the Hungary. But Russia and the United States, especially Trump, could be kicked out, and it provokes a new risks and new escalation and new global instability. Moreover, this situation of losing or Orban losing in Hungary could provoke a deal between the United States and Russian Federation over the heads of Europe and Ukraine. Because Trump feels like he is now surrounded by the enemies in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, and so on. And in this situation of surrender, so the agreement or the deal with Putin looks like they're less evil than it was before. So these unpredictable and very strange consequences of these elections we may reach this during this summer and fall. But in the first glimpse, it looks like that now we are standing before the new wave of escalation in United States, European, Russian, European relations. We will be witnessing the lowering the pressure towards a peaceful agreement from the United States, and it means the continuation of the war at least till the end of this year, without any good chance to reach a peaceful agreement, because the pressure from European, from Hungarian side on Ukraine, including the blocking some European Union initiatives of support of Ukraine, will be decreasing after that election. So, of course, Europe may celebrate its political power, but the world will reach additional risks and additional unpredictable consequences of the changing of the political balance in Hungary. Of course, a lot depends on the doings of the new government, which will be able to do in not earlier than in the summer, maybe even in the beginning of the fall, because of necessary administrative procedures in Hungary, which a new party needs to go through to reach the official appointment. Thank you, friends, for watching this video. Please write down your question, and I will be more often in this podcast if I will see that it is very necessary and very useful for us. Thank you for watching. See you again.